Something is fundamentally wrong with my wife, and I think the forest knows why. It started with small things, but now it has turned into a midnight nightmare. If you are watching this, never follow someone who walks in their sleep no matter what, because once you see what they are talking to, you can never unsee it again. My name is Mark, and Sarah and I moved to rural Vermont 6 months ago to start over. We wanted peace, quiet, and a break from the suffocating toxic noise of the big city. Our house is beautiful, but it sits right on the edge of an ancient, impossibly dense forest. Sarah never had a history of sleepwalking or night terrors before we moved here. The first night it happened, I found her standing by the large, cold bedroom window. She was staring into the black void of the trees, her eyes wide and completely unblinking. I asked her what she was looking at, but she didn't respond for a painfully long time. 3 days ago, while Sarah was out in the garden, I found a small leather book. It was hidden deep inside the lining of her winter coat, covered in strange symbols. The pages weren't filled with her usual handwriting. The letters were jagged and sharp. "The soil is calling for a new architect," one entry read in dark, dried ink. "The skin is just a costume for the ceremony that must take place beneath the roots." I felt a wave of nausea as I realized the date of the entry was before we even moved. She had planned this, or rather, something had planned this through her. I heard her footsteps on the porch and quickly hid the diary back where I found it. Last Friday, the moon was full and blood red, casting long, distorted shadows everywhere. At exactly 3:15 a.m., Sarah rose from the bed with a terrifying, fluid grace. She walked to the closet, put on a white summer dress, and walked out of the front door. She didn't put on shoes, even though the ground was covered in sharp rocks and frost. I grabbed my heavy coat, a high-powered flashlight, and my camera to record everything. She entered the forest with a speed that made it difficult for me to keep up. The forest felt different that night. The air was thick with the smell of wet fur and rot. Every time I stepped on a twig, Sarah would stop and tilt her head at an impossible angle. Deep in the heart of the woods, we reached a place that isn't on any map of the area. It was a clearing filled with ancient, leaning stones covered in glowing blue moss. Sarah stepped into the center and raised her arms, her head falling back completely. Out of the darkness, 3 figures emerged, draped in tattered black organic matter. They had no faces, just hollow cavities where eyes and mouths should have been. "We have groomed the vessel," one of the things croaked in a voice like breaking bone. "But the witness is here. The witness must be brought into the ritual as well," another added. I turned and ran blindly through the thorns, feeling cold hands brushing against my neck. I could hear Sarah, or whatever she had become, sprinting behind me on all fours. "Mark, why are you running from our family?" she shrieked in a distorted high pitch. I burst through our back door and slammed it shut, locking every bolt and chain. I spent the rest of the night huddled in the corner of the kitchen, holding a heavy metal fireplace tool for protection. The next morning, Sarah acted completely normal for several hours. She smiled at me, made coffee, and asked if I had slept well. That terrified me more than anything I had seen in the woods. The next afternoon, I noticed a strange, rhythmic thumping coming from the basement. I waited for Sarah to take her long shower, then I grabbed a crowbar and went down. In the far corner, behind the old furnace, the concrete floor was cracked and broken. I began to dig, and within minutes, I found a wooden box wrapped in rusted chains. Inside the box was a collection of Polaroid photos of me from the last 10 years, but in every photo, I wasn't alone. A tall, pale figure was always standing behind me. I looked at the latest photo, taken yesterday while I was sleeping in the kitchen. In the picture, Sarah was standing over me in the darkness, her face horribly distorted as she leaned closer. I realized that I wasn't the one following her. They had been following me my whole life. It has been 3 days since that night, and the house feels like a giant cage. Sarah refuses to leave, and she has started cooking strange meals that smell rotten and unnatural. I tried to call the police, but my phone only plays the sound of whispering trees. Every window in this house now looks out onto a forest that seems to be getting closer. I can see the tall, thin things standing on our lawn during the day now. They are waiting for me to fall asleep so they can complete the ritual. If you find this recording, stay away from the woods of Vermont. Some secrets are buried deep in the roots for a reason, and they should stay there. I can hear her footsteps on the stairs now. She is coming to tuck me in. She is carrying a bowl of that gray food, and she is humming that terrible tune. Goodbye, and please, don't follow the sleepers into the dark. If this story gave you chills, make sure to like and subscribe for more encounters. Share your own strange sleepwalking stories in the comments below. And remember, the things you see in the dark might be seeing you too.